Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Mitzi Cruz here, host of Lincoln Live, the show that's all about you, Lincoln. And today I have the honor and pleasure of being here live with Kerri Naber, who is the community program director, manager. Tell me.
Community relations manager.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Mercy Multiplied. And also we are here with Freddie Singleton, who is the program manager. Director.
Program director.
Thank you. So I'm messing up titles over here, but the important thing is we are here live with these two lovely ladies who are going to tell us more about this incredible organization, Mercy Multiplied. So thank you so much for being on our show today. And can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourselves?
You want to go first?
Yeah. So, hey, everybody. My name is Dr. Fredrica Singletary. Everybody at Mercy calls me Freddie. And I have the privilege of being the program director. And so that just simply means that I'm responsible for this home that's here situated in Lincoln and making sure that we are serving our residents in excellence. We are a residential counseling facility, and we're faith-based, and all of our services are completely free of charge for young ladies who choose to come here between the ages of 18 to 32.
Sure. My name is Kerri Naber. I am newer to Lincoln in the last 4 years. Oh, you're even newer than me, though. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay, so we both moved here across the country for this work. And so I moved from New York State to work in the Lincoln, California home. I've been the community relations manager for 4 years, and essentially my job is to get you guys, all of Lincoln, to know about this. So this one just made it a lot easier for me.
Well, that's good. And, you know, you guys have been on my radar for quite a while. I was hoping that we could structure something around the holiday season, but as I understand it, we're going to just not even kind of talk about that now.
It's a secret. So we do something amazing, but it's a secret. And because there's a lot of young women from Lincoln who have applied or are going to apply, we can't tell you, but Mercy always does everything in excellence, like Freddie said. So California or Christmas is no different.
Gotcha. So one of the things that you mentioned is that you're serving young ladies in the local community who are actually applying. Can you tell us what types of situations you guys are really ministering to here?
Yeah, so the age range that we serve in this home is 18 through 32, but we also have homes in Nashville, Tennessee, Monroe, Louisiana, and St. Louis, Missouri, and some of those homes actually service minors, but the young women that we serve essentially are dealing with what we call life-controlling issues. So that means that they could be dealing with anything from like the difficulty of like a traumatic divorce all the way to like mental disorder, being victims of sexual or domestic abuse, sex trafficking, eating disorders, depression, basically anything that causes them to like be pulled away from like the normal trajectory of life or being successful will help and assist them in getting their life back on track.
Gotcha. And the way I understand it, you guys are taking a holistic approach to that. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you guys are doing?
Yeah. Well, the girls are in counseling once a week. We have a counseling model that in the home, it is called Choices That Bring Change, but in the most recent years we came out with a book called Ditch the Baggage, and it has the 7 keys to freedom, exactly like our counseling model. And so they go to counseling once a week. On top of that, we're in the library. I don't know if they can see the books behind us or not, but they actually read about 2 to sometimes up to 5 books a week, either audio or reading them based on what they're going through. And then we also have a nutrition manager on staff and a fitness manager on staff. And one of my favorites is the household manager, because we have to work through making sure their mind, body, and soul gets healed. But then also girls come in with things like entitlement or they could be 26 and not know how to do laundry. So we teach them those kind of things too. The girls make all the meals in the home. So that's one of the ways that they really can grab hold of their own process of healing, because they do come free of charge, but we also want them to take ownership. And so the house is really beautiful if anyone does come to see it. And the girls do some of the upkeep of that as well. Just like in your home, you have to do the laundry and make your bed and stuff like that. But the mind, body, and soul part, we really try to focus on the holistic of everything. So there isn't one part of the daily routine that Mercy isn't intentional about.
That's awesome. How many staff do you guys have here?
So on average, we have about like 24 to 26 staff members here.
And so I'm assuming there's people here kind of around the clock, right?
Yes, we're here 24/7 servicing the needs of the residents.
Got it. Yeah. So, I mean, do you ever have any situations where maybe there's people that need, or gals that need extra, in the middle of the night or something like that, where the counselors are here around the clock and everything? Or?
So the counselors aren't here around the clock, but we have a residential team that's here around the clock, and they're equipped to assist them with what their needs are. So it's no different from you're at home. If you have a tummy ache and you need some like medicine, we have staff members who are able to assist them with that. Or sometimes if they have a bad dream, we're here to support them and talk them through the bad dream or pray with them so that they're able to go back to sleep.
That is great.
That's great.
Yeah, I love that. So what would you say the majority of the gals that you're helping here, kind of what's the background of that? Or is it really varied?
It honestly really varies. And so we service the needs of the local community, but we also take girls from all over the U.S. Okay. So it really could range from them having an eating disorder and dealing with self-harm, or they could also deal with a mental disorder and also be struggling with just accepting their body in a different way. It varies, and we're just finding that this generation has multiple things that they're coming in wanting to address.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, the way that our founder and president, Nancy Alcorn, says it is when she started this organization in 1983, one young woman might come in with an addiction or an unplanned pregnancy, but now it kind of compiles to self-harm. They've dabbled in the eating disorders. They probably had an alcohol addiction. At some point, they had been abused. And so the counseling model really covers all of that.
Got it. Got it. So I want to just encourage everybody watching. I know we've got a lot of people watching live, so remember this is very interactive. So we welcome your questions, comments. Please do make those comments and ask those questions so that you can get the information while we are live. So just a little reminder. But so how do you incorporate faith into the program?
It's integrated in pretty much every aspect of the program. And so when they apply voluntarily, they complete materials to give them a feel for what type of curriculum that we have. And so ultimately in our counseling curriculum choices that bring change that Kerri mentioned, the core of it is commitment to Christ. And that's because our founder and president, Nancy Alcorn, when she previously worked in secular settings, she found that the transformation wasn't truly lasting.
Sure.
And so we discover that when people have a personal relationship with the Lord, they're more apt to go more into depth about the traumas and get to the root of their issues, but also they learn that they can go to Him when they need have any type of need, whether it's fear, whether it's anxiety, and that has yielded more long-term results for them. And so how we do that is in the counseling space, but they have a regular schedule every day. So they have Bible reading every morning, they have praise and worship, followed by morning and evening classes that are all faith-based with different spiritual leaders that will encourage them and speak to the different needs that they are dealing with while they're in the program.
And if I can bounce off that, one of the things that changed in 2015 is we went from Mercy Ministries to Mercy Multiplied. Okay. And the reason we did that is because we multiplied outside of the walls. So what we do now is everything the girls are learning is now in books and study guides and trainings and all that good stuff. Comment below if you want to hear about them because I'll hit you up. But with that, it's not just the young women in this program, but I myself carry truth statements. We always put them on. You can tell a Mercy girl from a mile away because we have like all these index cards. And so one of the parts of the counseling model is renewing the mind. And it's really something you can use every day, even outside the walls of Mercy, when you feel that lie coming up, like I'm not worthy, I'm not beautiful, I don't deserve to be here. You can combat that with the truth of God. And that's really that's one of the key things that they learn. And then when real life happens, because it happens to all of us, they can use that. We call them the tools that they get here.
Yeah. Well, and I like that because, I mean, really, that's something, even if young women weren't a part of this program specifically, that's something that all young women need to know.
Right.
Yes.
And they need to really embrace that and have reminders daily. So it's part of our job as parents to instill that in our children, but then there's a big bad world out there that's going to tell them otherwise.
Totally.
Yeah. That's awesome. So tell us about the duration of the program, and because I understand you guys it's either a 6 or a 9 month program. Is that correct?
It varies. So we, even though we have like a standard counseling curriculum, we modify it based upon the needs of that particular residence. So we say the average stay of our residents is about 6 to 9 months, and at a minimum, it takes about 6 months to get through our counseling curriculum.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so if somebody comes in and they have children, are the children able to come in as well, or?
So no, unfortunately they are not. Our program is specifically targeted to the young women that apply to the program. And what we do for moms is we have a parenting track. So they're able to work on their parenting skills while they're here. And then they're able to have like Skype calls or different things to keep fostering communication with them while they're away. Sure. But our goal is to get the mom, when it is a mother, healthy and whole so that she's more equipped to go back to her children once her time here has ended.
So do you find, do you find that a lot of the residents have children already, or they're not?
It varies. Yeah. There are times when we have moms, and there are times where they, some of our residents have even placed their children up for adoption. And so we have post-adoption counseling for people that have never dealt with that before, and it's adversely impacted their life, or they just never had a comfortable space to discuss it. So really and truly, like the background of our residents just varies vastly at any given time.
Yeah, and one thing I love about that is because the girls come free of charge, and we're privately funded, so we don't accept state or government funding. The socioeconomic status of our girls is completely varied. Like, you never get the same kind or sort of young woman because we're all so different, right? If the three of us were in this program, we'd all be different, coming from a different background. And I love that because you get girls literally that have had completely different life experiences. Like, some girls have grown up on the other side of the world. Some girls like have always lived in Lincoln their whole life. And so it's just a varied batch of girls.
Gotcha. And so I would assume that there's protections in place as far as privacy and things like that. So if there was a young woman who's watching, who's considering applying, that information would be held strictly in confidentiality. So if you're watching, or if you know somebody who is interested in applying, please apply, because it sounds like you're going to get some great help that's going to really be life-changing. So how many gals would you say you guys have helped in this specific home over the years?
Oh my goodness.
I used to know the number.
This home has been here. Next year, we'll be celebrating 10 years here in Lincoln. And, I would say thousands. I don't know how many, but I would really say 1,000 or so. In
this home, I think between all the homes, it's definitely past 3,000. So I don't know if you divide that by 4, I guess. So when it's going to be our 10-year, like Freddie said, and so next year we'll celebrate with a huge dinner that will really honor Buzz Oates, because I know you posted about that earlier, because he's the reason we're in Lincoln, and his family, and just how exciting that he was able to see 4 years worth of graduates before he did pass 5 years ago, but really commemorating all that gave. But I'm sure like in a file somewhere we have the specific number
that's okay.
of the girls, but thousands.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually knew Buzz Oates. I worked for the Buzz Oates. Well, I worked for Cooper Oates Air Conditioning, which was part of the Buzz Oates company, and then broke off. So yeah, neat guy.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to open it up to questions. Does anybody have any questions, comments at this time?
None yet.
Okay.
Not at this time.
That's all right. Well, we'll just keep rolling. So, your role here, again, is just to kind of get the word out in the community. And I would assume there's the reasons for that, because it does take a village, and there's there's opportunities for the community to get involved in several different aspects, right?
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there is, because we're privately funded, of course, the end goal in most of our events is to make money. So we have a Run for Mercy that happens at Maidu Park in Roseville, and it's in March every year. So we have one in 2019 coming up. So with that event, not only do we need like 100 volunteers to put it on, but we need sponsors, and we have almost reached about having 600 runners at it. So we're like teetering on it. So it's great when people bring the whole family. You can run, walk, push a stroller, you could bring the dog, and that's March 23rd, 2019, and that's when you really see the community come together, because when the girls come, they just, I had one girl say, I was totally caught off guard when she said it. I was just like, what was it like to be at the Run for You? And she goes, I looked around and I realized these people were fighting for my freedom, so I better start fighting for my freedom. And I was just like, I didn't expect that at all, because we're doing it to raise awareness and everything, but it really, when the community's involved, it shows the young women that there's a reason to live. People love you. There are good people out there, and there's a future. So we do the run. We also have like a bunch of events in between, but a lot of times people come as groups. So they're like, what can we do as a group? We have a couple of churches, Destiny Community Church and Bayside, that always rebark our yard, which isn't really a glamorous task, but it saves us thousands of dollars for them to bark our yard. We're always looking for landscapers if anyone would like to give us a discount on that. But then also there's ways to be involved with like encouragement cards. We do journals for the girls. Every holiday there's always something to do, like Valentine's Day. We have people who host dinners at their house. So I like to get to meet the volunteer and then figure out what they're great at, and then we incorporate it. Like Freddie's helped us incorporate. We have a community board member who comes and makes those little what are they, like handcrafted greeting cards with the girls, and just fun things like that we can incorporate.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So if somebody were interested in volunteering or learning more about how they can help, how would they find out more?
I would say that's so mercymultiply.com is like the original place, and then there are like a volunteer form, and when you send it in, it'll end up to me. But also if you go to Google today and you just type in Mercy Multiplied Lincoln and you call our main line, I would take that number. So Freddie spends her days taking care of the whole home, and then I take anything that's like community related.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, Freddie, will you run us through a typical day in the home for one of the gals?
Yeah, so they start off by having breakfast, of course, because you need fuel in your body. And they actually assist with making sure that the home is neat and tidy, because this is their home. They have Bible reading, which is an opportunity for them to read passage of scripture together and learn about God's word, followed by praise and worship, a morning teaching, which can be like a live speaker. We have preachers from the local community that come out and share and minister to the residents. They have lunch, and then after lunch, that's when their day shifts for the day, because if they have counseling for that one time a week that afternoon, they will actually stay in the home for their counseling session. But for the other girls, we have a fitness manager on staff who makes sure that they exercise. And so we have partnerships with a local gym here in Lincoln, and so they're able to walk to the local gym and exercise, and then come back, have dinner, and then they have an evening class. So that ranges from them doing like Dave Ramsey's financial piece, to learn budgeting skills, or a different Bible series, and then they have a snack, they get ready for bed, and that's their day. On Fridays it's a little different because they get out of the house and they get to go to mall. So mall could range from them actually shopping here in Lincoln Crossing, or them shopping at like a different mall in the area to put those budgeting skills in practice, but also get anything that they need for the week and just socialize and eat outside of the home. They go to church on Sundays. Our home church is Destiny Community Church, but we also visit some other churches in the area as well. And that's essentially their schedule of just being in community on a regular basis.
Yeah, I love that. That totally reminds me, one cool way to be involved is because they do shop often, $5 gift cards to Starbucks, Walmart, or Target is like all the world. And when Ulta came to Lincoln,
my goodness,
that was very exciting for them. Ulta was everything when it came to Lincoln for them.
Not In and Out, or
they were excited about In and Out too. Yes,
I didn't notice that
when Ulta In and Out came. It was a huge deal.
I forgot about
huge deal.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, I just want to, anyone have any questions? No questions?
Interesting.
Everyone's sleeping at the wheel today. What the heck? Okay, so yeah, maybe you can tell me about some upcoming events that you guys have, or other than the run.
Yeah, so 4 times a year we do what we call Friends of Mercy luncheons, where you actually can come for free and have lunch with us. We make an amazing chicken salad that most people who come to the luncheon, they return just to have the chicken salad again. The girls make it.
It's delicious.
And you actually get to have lunch with the Mercy girls. So then you can get to know them a little bit and ask them direct questions. A lot of times when girls want to apply, we tell them they should come to the luncheon, because then you could really see it. So like you could hear Freddie and I talk about it, but it's different to hear from a graduate and a girl who's actually been through the program. So they do lunch with them, and then we show a video, and then you also hear from a graduate. So you get to hear her whole transformation story. So we do those 4 times a year. The first one in the new year is Thursday, February 7th. And it's always at noon. And then in June, although that's pretty far away, we have this incredible training that we call Empower. And essentially, since 1983, people have been ringing our phones off the hook going, how do you do what you do? Why do you have a 94% success rate of lives being transformed? You know, how do I help the homeless? How do I bring this to men? How do I help at my church with ministry? And so what we've done is we have an outreach program now, and they actually travel in from Nashville, and they teach you just everything we know. So it doesn't mean you have to come back and serve at Mercy. We want you to serve where you are. So we want you to serve at, like, we have a good relationship with the Emmaus Community Church in Lincoln. And so they could be serving there, right? Or you could be at Awful Annie's and you run into someone and ministry could happen right there. So the training is 1 day. And it's, if you come with more than one person, there's like a huge discounted group rate. So that's Saturday, June 1st.
So if I'm on your email distribution list, which I am, then I'll get email notifications with these events?
Yep.
Okay.
And then you could also, if you're already on Facebook, you could just like Mercy Multiplied, and it will also come up.
Okay, perfect. So Mercy Multiplied, like it, follow it, so that you can get all this information firsthand before it happens. And I had a really good question for you.
Oh, no.
And I know. I'm like,
Where'd
it go?
It happens all the time.
Where'd it go?
What if someone is interested in a career with Mercy or want to possibly be a guest speaker?
That's all you.
So if you want a career at Mercy, you are welcome to apply on our website. Everything in terms of applications are there at mercymultiplied.com, and I think it's under About Us, then Employment. In terms of being a speaker, the first thing you would do is reach out to us. Just give us a call. Typically, we have like established partnerships in terms of speaking. So we really encourage people to connect with Kerri, more so for volunteerism, because that's where our greatest needs is serving in that capacity.
Well, sure. And then if somebody did have a story that you guys thought might be relevant, then that might open an opportunity for that versus just calling in. And
so developing the relationship with me first helps, because then we can make sure that it's a good fit for the Mercy girls. And a lot of times people come and meet with us now to learn about how they can serve at Mercy. And because of the tools we're using through the Mercy Multiplied outreach, all of a sudden I give them keys to freedom, ditch the baggage. They go to Empower. They have our podcast, and it's like they're out doing their own thing. Like all of a sudden a new dream was birthed in them, and they have their own group of women they're ministering to, which is the multiplying effect of all of it, which is incredible. That's what we found since in 2015, everything just kind of changed. It's not all about just helping our girls, which it is, and they are being served, but we want to make sure everybody's healthy and whole while they're serving others.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So tell us about the book, Ditch the Baggage. And who wrote it?
You go for it.
I'll go for it. It's my favorite thing. I love Ditch the Baggage. So it all starts with the 2015 name change and rebranding. Nancy Alcorn, our founder and president, as Freddie had said, worked 8 years in secular facilities and really felt like she was seeing girls come in for something, be at a state facility, leave, probably dealing with the same what we call behaviors or life controlling disorders, not really getting healed. And she really believes, and we believe, that Jesus at the center of it can actually transform. My shirt reads, "Freedom is possible." We completely believe freedom is possible. It's not once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. It's that if you become in the bloodline of Christ and you accept him as your savior, you have a whole new chance of a new bloodline, freedom. So what Ditch the Baggage is the practical tools on how to do that. Because it's super weird to be like, renew your mind, Mitzi, and you'd be like, okay, thanks. Yeah. Like, no one actually knows how to do it. So the reason I love Ditch the Baggage is, and it's on Amazon and our website, it's just this, it's 7 keys to freedom that are practical. It's not someone just being like, wouldn't it be nice if you could think differently? It's like, here's 6 ways you can think differently and the ways to do it. And also, I think a lot of the reasons people end up working at Mercy is we have somewhat of the same attitude. About 4 pages into Ditch the Baggage, Nancy writes, I don't have a lot of time for people telling me about problems and not fixing them.
Right.
And that's kind of the way we do things at Mercy. It's like, we want to see you healthy on the other side. It's not an easy process going through this. And that's what Ditch the Baggage is. So if you're ready to like be free, there is some work that you got to put into it. But that book is incredible.
Gotcha. And is there like a journaling aspect that comes along with it, or?
That's what we call, so Ditch the Baggage is like the actual book.
Sure.
And then Keys to Freedom is the study guide, and that is all journaling. Okay. So it depends on how you like it. I tell people if you're going to do it as a group, there's actually multiple churches in Lincoln running it right now, the Keys to Freedom Bible study. And they get together and you do that. There's a leader guide and a study guide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So do we have any questions at all?
Nobody's on Facebook today.
I am just blown away by that.
Well, especially because when we're out and about, people don't know about Mercy.
Right.
And they always have questions. So it's like, I can't go anywhere without them asking me like 7 questions, but I guess we answered them all.
Oh, yeah. We'll get more questions throughout the day as well.
And then
they'll come and check in.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys want to go back in and if there's any questions.
I'm totally good to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just the millennial that's on my Facebook all the time, so we'll just do that for you guys.
Yeah, that's the perfect role for you.
Yeah. Yep.
I know there's a lot of people out Christmas shopping right now. In fact, that's what I've got to do.
Yes.
A little later this afternoon myself. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if they do sign up for the mailing list, like you were saying, they can see the Christmas surprise that we can't show you right now.
Really?
But yeah, so if anyone did reach out to me, I can tell them about it in ways that they can still be involved. So the big party is Friday. We have a dinner. We have a really nice prime rib dinner. And then there's like a surprise afterwards. And so if they reached out, I could still connect with them about it.
Got it. Okay. So if you're watching, you want to get involved, definitely sign up for the email list and then shoot a little private email and find out more about how you can get involved.
Perfect. Yeah.
So did you guys have anything else you wanted to share or anything that we haven't talked about today?
Yeah, I just wanted to share for those who are in need, if they have a family member who wants to apply to the program or they're listening and they're interested in applying to the program, the first step that we always share is check out the website. We have tons of testimonials from our grads, so you can hear directly from them about their experience, but also you can apply online. You can do it from your computer, your tablet, or even a cell phone, just to get the process started if you're interested in coming to our home in Lincoln or any of the homes that we have across the U.S.
Good. And, one of the questions I forgot to ask is, so are you guys a nonprofit, a 501c3?
We are a 501c3 nonprofit.
Okay, so I understand you have fundraisers, but is there the ability for someone to privately donate throughout the year, or how would somebody do that if they were
all day, every day? So basically, if someone, obviously most people watching this live in Lincoln, I can meet up with them right in Lincoln and chat about ways to be financially involved as well. Or if they wanted to just go onto the website and donate there. But we actually have a giving program that a lot of people really love. It's called Team Mercy 360, and what it represents is the 360 complete wholeness change of a young woman's life. And you give $30 a month for 12 months, which equals $360 a year. You get a customizable T-shirt that you get to wear around town, and you get to actually send an encouragement note to one of the girls. And so it's a really great giving program. It's called Team Mercy 360, and we find that most people who end up living locally, that's like one of the best ways to be involved with that, because then they know all the donations that come from the area of Lincoln come directly to this home. Although we are a international ministry. We do have homes in New Zealand, Canada, and the UK, as well as the 4 Freddie mentioned in America. Because we are only 18% funded by the local community right now, all the money that's donated here stays to the local home, because I know a lot of people want to give to the young women in their community. So if you do give to Mercy, it stays right here. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. And I had another question, and
there it goes.
I had 1 cup of coffee this morning.
Well, let me ask you, when did you first hear about Mercy? Because I know we met like 3 years ago. Did you know about it because of Buzz Oates?
No. So I was looking at the community that we're in, the Lakeside community, before I bought my house out in the country, almost 10 years ago. So I knew that this building was going to be built here. And so I knew that there was a little bit of misinformation in the community about what this was going to look like. So I know that there was kind of some controversy. That was when I was first introduced to Mercy, but I had no idea about the program. So when I met you at a chamber breakfast,
yes, that's right,
then I got to learn more about the program. I personally have a special place in my heart for anything that is ministering to young women. I'm former foster youth, so coming from that background myself and seeing, the statistic is 5%, having a life that looks like mine. Most of the girls, and my own sister, is homeless and addicted and things like that. So it's heartbreaking to see when that change isn't being provided. And so having a program like this where a young woman doesn't have to worry about the fees, doesn't have to really worry about anything, just really coming and surrendering and being ready for that lasting change, and then just allowing you guys to love on her, pour into her. That's why it's near and dear to my heart. So
that was a perfect explanation. And most people still don't know where we are or who we are. Like, they drive by. We had a couple that just moved here from Colorado, and they literally drove by. They were like, we were in our Tesla, which just like made me laugh. I'm like, they moved to California, immediately bought a Tesla. They drove by, and they were like, this doesn't fit, right? Because there's a residential here, and then to the other side is industrial. So like, what is this thing? And they said they just got on their phone, looked it up, and immediately on the spot, after reading our website and looking at our videos, they became sponsor girl donors, which is where you give $200 a month for a girl to be in our program. And it was so incredible because most people live in Lincoln, and they, no one goes up by the airport. I mean, unless like, we're just the other side of Lincoln. So even if you drive by, you'll see that we really believe that God's children can heal in a beautiful place. Buzz Oates really did an incredible job with this place.
My house is walking distance from here. I am literally right down the street. So, in fact, I think you're referring to my next door neighbors. I could be wrong.
No, I could be wrong. These people live in, is it Catacavera?
Oh, Catacavera. Yeah, okay, that's not my next door neighbors.
I was like, I'm not from there. No, you might be from there, but
it's funny. We just had new neighbors that moved from Colorado.
They did?
Wow.
Yeah. Do they have a Tesla?
Yeah.
Because
I know.
Small world.
Yeah. I mean, literally.
What are the odds?
Everybody wants Teslas.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, still no questions. I don't know. That's okay. That's all right. I just, walking in here and seeing the girls are all out there playing games right now, and they're building and developing relationships with each other, lasting relationships, that are going to really carry them through life. And so I just think that's really cool. And then, not to mention, you spoke of 94%. Right. And so how are you guys tracking that? Or is that just staying in touch with the girls? Or
Yeah, so what happens is, I believe it's like every couple years. I'm not sure.
Like 4.
I think it's every 4. We have it on a cycle where we basically go out and we serve girls who have successfully completed the program, and we ask them to report if they view their life has been transformed as a result of them coming through the program. And that has been the response, a 94% response of saying that they feel like their lives have been transformed as a result of their participation in the program.
So you had sent out a mailer not too long ago, an email rather, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and there was a gal on there, and she was talking about her story, and how, and I don't even remember what her afflictions were prior to coming to the program. I just remember her talking about being transformed and renewed, and then she had met this man, and now they have children, and you probably know who I'm talking about, huh?
No, I do. It depends. We send so many that the good news is we have thousands of transformed lives. Right. So I don't know that particular one, but
yeah, I know. I'm kind of vague with the details. I just remember I was like,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and we show videos now because it was our 35th anniversary this year. So we collected a lot of stories from a lot of graduates, and it's that exact story is they really found healing. Yeah. They went out, they continued to fight for their healing outside of Mercy. And then they, one line that girls typically say when I meet them, they'll say, the graduates, when I meet them after they're out and about, they'll say, I don't even remember that person I was. That's how, like, distant they are from it. So it's not this victim mentality of, like, look at what life did to me. Yeah. It's look at how far I've come with Jesus, and I'm so thankful. Right. And so then when they do get married, they're not bringing in what we call then baggage, from Ditch the Baggage, into that marriage, and they are able to be healthy parents and everything.
Oh yeah, it changes the whole trajectory of the family. Right. Starting with that woman, and then I mean, generationally, it's extremely impactful. Yeah,
it's really powerful to see. I would say being in the community and seeing our graduates is my favorite part. That's definitely thing. I don't know how long have you been with Mercy? I forgot.
This is my 7th year.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay, so my story with graduates is I interned 10 years ago, so I didn't work those whole 10 years, but 10 years ago I was in the Nashville home, and like you mentioned, the girls create friendships, and I still see on my Facebook, girls will get together from Pennsylvania, Virginia, Florida, and Texas, and they're like, what's the middle state? Which I don't know what it would be, but they meet, and they all get together, and that's how, like, these friendships really last throughout the ages. And that was 10 years ago I interned, and they're still like cheering each other on. You'll see them, like, not only do they go to college, but then they'll become like licensed in their career, and they're all cheering them on. And then they end up being, we just had a graduate from our home got married last weekend, and her maid of honor was another graduate from our home.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't think either of them live in California.
I don't think so.
Oh no, one lives in LA. Yeah, California.
They become well, when they're in the program, we call them Mercy Sisters. Yeah. And so they definitely develop like a sisterhood that transcends their time here, but they're no longer like bonding over their issues. They're bonding over the fact that their lives are changed and what they have hope for, and encouraging each other on in such a real and loving way. Because when you are in the midst of whatever it is that's negative, you don't always have healthy friends. Right. And so a lot of times they're here learning healthy boundary setting, what safe people are, and if they come to be that here and they develop those relationships, it's just really nice to know that you have someone that you can trust and understands. Yeah. Because some people just don't get it. Right. And they know that they have somebody that they can confide in that gets it.
That's very true.
And that makes so much sense, because you hear, healthy people attract healthy people, unhealthy people, unfortunately, attract other unhealthy people. So when you can help that person become healthy, then they're going to attract healthy people, healthy relationships. Right. And just, continue that.
And we hear a lot of graduates. I don't know if you remember this from, like, it was earlier this year, the girl graduated, and 5 of her college friends applied. I'm like, this isn't a sorority. It is like, we are like residential counseling. But like one girl at a university graduated, and her friends just saw how amazing it was. So literally 5 of them have gone into all the different homes and graduated. Wow. And I just think that's so, like, when someone in your life is transformed, you can just see it, right? Because you see them day to day, and you're like, they weren't like this before. Right. And a lot of girls will then mentor other girls, and they'll end up applying. So one girl, we had a graduation today, and part of her testimony was I don't know how long ago.
A 2006 graduate from another home actually became a nutritionist, and she was helping the young lady that graduated today, and she was like, we're not making enough progress. I want to refer you to Mercy. And now today she successfully completed the program. So it's just as like those connections of she got free. She had the faith and the foresight to start her own business, and now she's in turn blessing and ministering to other people. I think she's going to mentor her even when she goes back home. So again, like, it's really cliche, but the multiplication effect is there, because that's what Jesus is. Like, his gospel was about love and multiplying his love through other people, and that's ministry. So we get to be able to do that in a really tangible way, just by helping them get practical life skills that they can carry with them far beyond their 6 to 9 months here.
Yeah, that's true.
So I do want to go ahead and wrap up with a couple stories, if you guys don't mind. Obviously, respecting privacy, but if you have maybe a couple of your very favorite stories from over the years, do you have anything specific that kind of stands out as being something you want to share?
Yeah, I have one. So when you were talking about moms, one of our former moms came to mind. She really, she wanted to be here. She really wanted a transformation for her life, but of course she didn't want to leave her sweet little girl. But she did, and thankfully she had a family that was really willing to support her. So oddly enough, she also came out of the foster care system and decided to parent her own daughter, and she realized that she needed additional support. So not only did that family bring her in, but they took in her daughter while she was here in the program. So she had a safe place for her daughter. And one of her prayers while she was here is that she would just have a family. Like, she just wanted to have a healthy family. So that family actually adopted her as an adult.
Wow.
And so she was able to legally change her name and be a part of a family. And a couple of months ago, we heard that she actually got married herself. And so now she has her own family of her own. But scripture says he puts the fatherless in families. He literally did that for her while she was here in the program. And now she was healthy enough to be a mom to her own daughter, but healthy enough also to have a loving relationship with a man, so that she can now be in lifelong partnership with him. Right. So I think that's one of my favorite stories, that like the desire of her heart was not only granted, but it has this generational impact on not only her daughter's life, her husband's life, and this sweet family who just responded to God's call to love on her and her daughter in such a cool way. So, and she actually referred a girl to the program. So one of the girls who came through the program this year was actually referred to Apply to Mercy and chose to come as a result of her own story. So that's one of my personal favorites.
That's right. That graduate spoke, and I just did a tour 3 weeks ago with a girl who heard her speak at a foster care convention, and that's why she was thinking of applying to Mercy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's right.
That is so great. Yeah, I personally, and obviously it's more on my radar because of my background, but I just feel like there's a big need and an unfilled need, unfortunately, largely unfilled, for former foster youth, especially transitioning, and then if those skills weren't embedded as a child as to how to successfully parent children, then the cycle is very likely to continue. Right. So that is just I love that story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, when you were sharing that story, I thought you started with another young mom. And that was one of my personal favorites because I do the tours if girls are interested in applying, or if people want to volunteer, just any tour. And this sweet couple who were dating came in, and I was just like, how cute is this boyfriend to come with her? Yeah. And she was a mom, and I might miss the detail. I think the daughter, she did have custody of the daughter.
They both had children separately.
And they had custody, but then they also shared custody. And she came for the tour, and she was just so, kind of melancholy about it. She obviously didn't want to be away from her daughter as well. She ended up coming into the program. She was one of those girls that was steadfast about it. I'm here to actually get help. I'm not here to play games. I'm not going to stonewall people out. I'm actually going to get help. And the day before she came to Mercy, I was she arrived at Mercy, and I was like, hey, how's your boyfriend? She was like, we got married last night. They actually got married.
They pulled up in a car that said just married.
Yeah.
And I said, what?
Yeah. And her application, everything's done through our intake department. So every girl's story varies. But by the time I gave her a tour, I swear she was in the home within like 2 months. So she came for a tour, applied, accepted, and was in the program.
And she was really diligent in her process.
Yeah.
And so then they got married the night before she entered the program, which I don't know has ever happened with another Mercy girl. And she did the program, super sweet. She's amazing. They ended up, she graduated, and now they're expecting, and she's going to be induced on Monday for their child together. So they're going to be a blended family. They're so happy and healthy, and she's like, though sometimes the graduates become like a really big encouragement to the staff. So she always makes these like watercolor pictures with scriptures on them, and it's just too cute. Yeah,
she's been back, and she had an opportunity to speak into another graduate who had a really similar story, and it was really transformational for that grad.
Yeah.
But the sweetest thing about her is she decided to name her son after the city of Lincoln. Because she wanted to name her son that, because she wanted to name him after the place that transformed her life.
Yes.
So super sweet, and just her entire countenance has changed, and she's a blessing.
Oh, she's such a blessing. I forgot. Yeah, she's gonna name him Lincoln.
Oh, that is so sweet.
I know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I have had such a great time getting to know both of you. I knew you already, but getting to know you better. But and the great work that you guys are doing here. I mean, this is just awesome. It is. Thank you guys so much for all that you do.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for featuring us on Lincoln Live, because it'll be great to have more neighbors know who we are and be able to. I love Awful Annie's, so if anybody wants to get together at Awful Annie's, I can do that.
I know, right?
Who doesn't live Awful Annie?
Yeah, the staff here, that's like a staff favorite. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and I appreciate our time together today, and yeah, it's funny because even going back to when I first started, I think the concern was that it was going to be like a group home. This is definitely not a group home.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, now group homes are actually, that's like, they're like illegal in California. They changed their restrictions of everything.
Really? Yeah, see, I don't know.
We're truly a home, even though like it is technically a 40-bed facility per se.
Yeah.
It's definitely a home, and it's so cool that we're in the footprint of this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, like, we're nestled deep in the heart of Lincoln, so it's
Adorable.
It's definitely a home for us and the residents.
Well, one shout out I'll do, I don't know if you've already done it, but have you been to San Francisco Bay Coffee then?
I'm glad
gotta get
that you
over
mentioned
there.
that. So we, there's a long story behind that, but we actually had them on the schedule, and then there was a little confusion with the gal that we scheduled with, and then long story short, they are definitely on the radar, and I hope somebody is watching.
Yeah, I'll tag them.
Please, yeah.
Because I'm sure you've noticed, for those who live close,
Yeah.
if you come around 10 a.m., it smells like coffee where we live.
It does.
So that's like even funnier. So they roast their coffee right next door, and they also give coffee to the girls for free, which when you wake up at 7 a.m., you want that cup of coffee. So that's super sweet.
Yeah.
And they sponsor our run, so much so where they sponsor our run, and then they pay for all their employees to be part of our run. So they're such a great example of a local support, and like a company that really cares about where they're about their community.
I totally agree. And you know what? So what I do in my business, I'm a realtor. So anyway, they donate all the coffee for every other month. We have a meeting at the women's club. They donate all the coffee for that. Super awesome.
Yeah.
But I do notice they are all over the place. They're giving back. They're impacting lives. And just really impacting their community.
Yeah.
And I remember what I was going to ask you a little bit earlier. In regards to your run, are you guys looking for sponsors for that? Or?
Yes. So we have different sponsorship levels, ranging from $10,000 all the way down to $250. So a lot of real estate agents and different people will buy the $250 to have a booth at the run, so you can market to the people who are coming, and at $500 you can be on our t-shirt. So that's a really normal level that people do. And then also just getting people to come out to the run is huge. If you can't be a business sponsor, you could have a business team to bring everybody.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds good.
Mia Gordon just joined, and she says she may have missed it, but is there anything that the community could help with?
So I'll give another random one. It is super random, but we always need, so it's a 40-bed home. So we always need paper towels, toilet paper, and paper, paper plastic
goods.
plates. Yeah, paper goods, which is totally random, but it saves us so much money.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a very easy thing for a women's club association to be like, oh, we're all going to go to Costco. We're going to buy that obnoxious size of toilet paper and bring it to Mercy.
Yeah.
So that's a random one, but that one's easier to
It's
do.
so helpful.
So helpful. Yeah.
Awesome. And then Mia, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate your question. One thing that we'd spoken about a little bit earlier is that you can actually, you could either call into the facility and speak with Kerri directly, and then she can let you know, what types of things are needed in the moment. But you can also join the email list and follow the Facebook page. So there's a lot of different ways to stay on top of what's going on throughout the year that you could personally get involved with.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
All right. Well, so I want to go ahead and just wrap it up, and I again appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for watching. Please do share our video by noon tomorrow so that you can be entered into this week's raffle, and comment shared so we know that you shared, so you get credit. And tomorrow we will announce.
They take it serious.
The winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer when people say, because I've got like a prize wheel, and then I'll put their names in the prize wheel. And so if somebody says, well, gosh, I'm usually already going with the raffle by the time they'll comment and say, gosh, I did share. I say, well, privacy settings, I can't always see the shares.
Yeah. Totally.
So just let us know you shared, and then you're entered and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ditch the Baggage is in the raffle.
Yes.
So you're going to want the book.
Yeah, I talked about that in my
You did? Okay, good.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining.
you.
We'll see
Bye-bye.
you next week.